The wind howled across the empty plains like a restless spirit that refused to sleep. The night was cold, bitterly cold, and the kind of silence that filled the darkness felt almost alive. A small fire crackled in the middle of nowhere, its glow barely pushing back the endless black surrounding it. Beside it sat a man who looked like he had seen too much of life to be surprised by anything anymore. He didn't move much, didn't speak, just stared into the flames as if they held answers he had stopped asking for. Then he heard it. Soft footsteps. Careful, hesitant. He didn't reach for the rifle beside him, but his hand shifted slightly, ready. And then came a voice, barely above a whisper. "May I warm up by your fire?" He looked up. Standing a few feet away was a young woman, worn by the road, her dress faded and torn at the edges. Her hands trembled, not just from the cold, but from something deeper. Fear, maybe, or exhaustion that ran far beyond the body. For a moment he said nothing. The fire cracked. The wind whispered. She looked like she might turn away. Then he spoke. "Fire doesn't belong to me." She hesitated, then slowly stepped closer. That moment, simple, quiet, would change both their lives forever. She sat across from him, careful not to get too close. The warmth of the fire touched her face, and for the first time in what felt like days, her shoulders relaxed. She placed her worn bag gently on the ground, holding on to it like it was the last piece of her past she had left. He watched her, not suspiciously but thoughtfully. "You've been walking a long time," he said. She nodded. Too long. He didn't ask where she came from, didn't ask where she was going. Out here, questions like that often brought more trouble than answers. But something about her felt different. Not just lost, but running. "Someone chasing you?" he finally asked. Her eyes flickered, and in that silence he got his answer. She told him slowly. Not all at once, not like a story, but like pieces of something broken falling out. A place she once called home, a promise that turned into a lie, people she trusted, who became strangers overnight, and a moment, the kind that changes everything, when she realized staying meant losing herself forever. So she ran, through towns that didn't care, through roads that didn't end, through nights colder than this one, until she found this fire. The man listened. He didn't interrupt, didn't comfort her with empty words, because he knew something she didn't yet understand. Some people don't need saving. They need reminding. After a long silence, he finally spoke. "You think you're running away," he said, his voice steady. She looked at him, confused. "Aren't I?" He shook his head slightly. "No," he said. "You're running toward the person you were meant to become." The words hit her differently, not like comfort, like truth. And truth can be heavier than pain. She stared into the fire. For the first time, she wasn't thinking about what she lost, but what she might still have. "What if I don't know who that is?" she asked quietly. The man leaned forward slightly, the firelight reflecting in his eyes. "Then that's your job now," he said. "Not theirs. Not the past, yours." The wind softened. The night didn't feel as endless anymore, and something inside her, something small but powerful, began to shift. Hope. Not loud, not dramatic, but real. Hours passed. Neither of them noticed, because sometimes the right words at the right moment can feel like time itself has paused just to let you breathe again. Before dawn, she stood up. The sky had begun to lighten just slightly at the horizon. She picked up her bag. This time it didn't feel as heavy. "Thank you," she said. He nodded. "That fire will still be here for the next traveler," he replied. She smiled faintly, and then she walked. Not running anymore, walking forward. The man stayed where he was, watching the sunrise slowly replace the night. And for the first time in a long while, he smiled too. Because sometimes changing someone's life doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes it only takes a fire, a moment, and the right words. And if this story spoke to you, if it reminded you that even the darkest nights can lead to something brighter, don't forget to subscribe, because there are many more stories waiting to find you, right when you need them most.